Welcome to the Dominate Your Niche podcast with me, Ruth Ferreira. Here we chat to some of today's best small business leaders, individuals who are shaking up their industry and dominating their niche. The show tackles all things business growth, from strategy, marketing and branding, and delves into the secrets of what it takes to dominate your niche. The aim of this podcast is to empower founders with big dreams, small and micro businesses, and even solopreneurs who are looking to make a big impact. People who are hungry to learn from those who have gone before them and implement that knowledge to next level in their own business. So welcome, lean in, and then go take action to propel yourself towards dominating your niche in your small business. Welcome to the latest episode of the Dominate Your Niche podcast with me, Ruth Ferreira. Today, I'm so excited to introduce you to Claire Burroughs, the founder and managing director of AnswerCom, a leading telephone answering business based in Tunbridge Wells. She's also the co-founder of the Farm Process Management and EasyChat. AnswerCom has grown significantly, providing bespoke services to a diverse range of clients, and Claire's commitment to exceptional customer service and innovative business strategies earned her recognition, including the prestigious Entrepreneur of the Year award at the Times Business Awards 2019. Topics we covered include growth strategies, in particular networking, PR, and the challenges of marketing. We looked at Claire's challenges and learnings, especially around leadership, considering how to incentivize great customer service, and looking at promoting from within the business. We also talked about helping people to know where they stand and Claire's top tip of not procrastinating when you need to make a decision about your team. A gorgeous chat, really insightful and full of golden nuggets. I can't wait for you to listen. Hi, Claire. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you.
It's great to have you with us. So, Claire, you have grown quite a significant business over the years. And what I would love to know is a little bit about your business journey. How did you get to where you are today?
Well, I'm in my 25th year.
25 years. Wow.
And I started it with a client of mine who kept saying to me that he couldn't get through to me because I was always on the phone because I owned a telemarketing agency. And he said, you need an answering service. So I'd never heard of this thing before and started to use a company called Rocket.
Okay.
And he and I both used them. He owned a logistics company and we both used this company. It was very good. The technology wasn't great back then. As you can imagine.
Yeah, things have come a long way.
We're talking nearly 30 years ago now. And I think we both decided, first of all, we could do it better because we were clients of a service. So we went through the whole thing. We got backing from the bank because you did then. And we had to put a certain amount of money in each. And I put my half the money in. Bank went ahead and was saying, right, you need to put your half the money in, Claire's partner.
Oh, no.
He rang me and said, we need to meet. I don't have any money.
Wow. I feel like he could have mentioned that a little bit earlier.
Maybe. Would have been a good idea.
Oh, God.
Would have been a good idea.
I wasn't expecting it to get this juicy this early on. Tell me more. What happened?
So I had to buy him out.
Okay. Wow. On day one.
On day one, my father made me do it.
Okay.
My dad, because he said, Tunbridge Wells is a very small place, Claire. Do the right thing. Buy him out.
Good advice. Good advice.
We did
Honestly,
that.
I'm not sure on day one if I'd have done that or if I'd have just been like, okay, well, you're not part of this. You never got started. But well done. Good girl.
Yeah. It wasn't a significant amount, but it was at the time. And HSBC backed me on my own, which was fantastic.
Great decision for them.
So yeah, that's how I started it. And we started in a basement office in St. John's Road, and I was there for a considerable amount of time.
Nice. And how did you go about getting your early clients? Like, what did you do? Because you've probably incorporated a company, you've got the bank's backing, but where did your clients come from? Because without a client, there's no business. How did you get it off the ground in the early days?
I networked myself to death,
I can imagine.
actually.
I did that early on as well. I loved
Yeah,
it.
I really did. We didn't do much marketing. We did quite a lot of PR.
Okay.
Um, and we used a local PR agency who were really good.
Amazing.
Um, and I got very involved with the local town businesses. I was in the group that set up the first Tunbridge Wells Business Awards with the Courier.
Love it.
And I think I just got known in the area.
Yeah.
I attended that people used to laugh and say that I would attend the opening of an envelope.
Love it. Love it.
And that's how I started.
And it's clearly works. So fast forward 25 years, where are you at now?
We've got 45 staff. We're 24/7. Um, the landscape of what we do is very different now. We're not just an answering service, and I say that so often. We're more consultative, and we're working really, really hard to help the dental industry. That's our latest.
Ah, interesting.
So I think dental is going to be a big factor for us, and
Okay.
motor trade will always be a big factor for clients, and law, actually.
Good to know. Okay. I'll look out for any introductions in those sectors.
Please do.
So, what are the key strategies that helped you to grow? So, you've mentioned already networking, you did some PR. What I'm hearing is you just got very visible.
Mm.
Did you go down the speaking route at all? Like, did you do any of that?
No, I didn't. I think I probably would more now
Hmm.
than I did back then. I never felt like I could have stood up other than to do my 60 seconds at BNI. That
BNI
was as
gets in
far as
every
my
single
speaking.
episode, by the way. Damn it.
So yeah, I got quite good at that. Uh,
Yeah.
and I've done a few where people have asked me to stand up on stage. One was with, oh, I can't remember, it was at Tunbridge School. That I definitely felt like shouldn't really have been there, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Kelly
And
Holmes was
and
next to me,
oh,
so that's
oh my
just about
God.
says it all, really.
I would be so super excited to be next to her. I'm not honestly, I'm not sure I'd even recognize her. I'm not like, yeah, I'm not like the biggest fan, but I know the name so well. And I know she's local as well.
She
So
was
yeah.
amazing. She gave me
Ah.
so much confidence.
Oh, I love
Um,
that. What an amazing, amazing woman. And do you know what? That's one of my favorite things is when you see somebody who's like smashing it in their own right and who is lifting up others around them. I think that's a real like sign of success. And it's just the person we should all aspire to be.
yeah, she was great. Really, really great.
So I'm hearing imposter syndrome about being on that stage. Is that something you've had much of over the years?
I think we all have it to a certain degree. I think everybody, there are very few people that don't. I'd say probably my daughter's one of the only people who does it. She thinks she's good at everything.
Well, that's a skill in itself. I love
Yeah.
it. I love it. And it's true. It's true. Imposter syndrome, no matter what is going on in your life, no matter how much success you've had. I know so many people who on the outside they look like they are absolutely killing it and they have massive wobbles on a fairly regular basis.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It is nerve-wracking when you're getting up on stage. And I do think sometimes if you're not nervous, you're not perhaps going to give your best. I know if I'm not nervous, I don't give my
Mm.
best.
Do you know, have you heard the Mel Robbins reframe theory? I'm sure it wasn't originally hers, but in her book, The 5 Second Rule, she talks about the feelings of fear and the feelings of excitement being the same
Yeah. Yeah, I
and
haven't
how you
had
can,
that, but I can absolutely relate to that.
yeah. And it's that whole, if you're not nervous, you've got to get the adrenaline pumping to really give it your all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Love that. Okay. So, the nature of what you do in call answering is that you have a fairly big team and the majority of your team are probably sort of around the minimum wage mark. So a couple of questions around this. What is the one thing you wish you'd known before embarking on your leadership journey?
Well, that's a really good question.
I know.
Around wages, around staff, or generally?
Oh, tell me all. Tell me. So I'd love to know the wages point, because that's always a very interesting one. But I'm also interested, like, how do you lead? Like, how do you lead that team? How do you keep them inspired? How do you keep them motivated? Anything around company culture?
It's a really good question because it's something that I wrestled with for years. And I randomly, this is a very random story, but I randomly had a stepson at the time who worked for Pret a Manger.
Okay.
And I was listening to him because they're people serving generally, I think, on national minimum wage-ish.
Yeah.
And
Thereabouts. Yeah.
yeah, and he was saying how they were incentivized to give really good customer service.
How did they incentivize them?
Oh, I thought, oh, I need to find out some more about that.
Yeah.
So they had various ways they did it, but it was all done on a scoring system. So how many people went up to the counter and gave them good feedback. So know that if you give good feedback in Pret a Manger to a member of staff, they get paid extra.
Oh, I'm going to start doing that.
I know, and they're
That really
so
resonates with
good.
me.
Some of them are so good, and I thought, I can't do that because we're quite faceless.
Yeah.
So I worked out a way, because as well, we're not selling. So it's very,
Yeah.
very difficult to manage a team that aren't selling. They're making calls. They're not making calls, they're answering calls. So we did everything. We've done a whole incentive scheme around quality.
Love it.
So my team members that literally do their job to the best of their ability can earn. We have 3 different grades of hourly rate that they can earn the following month.
Oh, I love that. So it keeps you on it month to month. Oh my God, that's amazing.
Yeah. So if they have a really good month, they go in the top grade, then they're definitely not on minimum wage anymore.
Love it.
But the way I put it to them was that the more calls you answer and the better you are, and the more efficient you are on your after call work and all of that, you are earning me more money. Therefore, I can give.
Yeah. That's
And that's
amazing.
the way I did it. It's
And did
a
it work?
real pain. Yeah, they love it. It's
Yeah.
such a pain at the end of each month to get
Yeah.
it all organized.
I can imagine.
Yeah. But it does make you realize it's something very positive to talk to them about in their one-to-ones. Some of them may need to answer one extra call an hour.
Yeah,
To
and
be
it's
on
not a lot.
top level. And that's so easy for some people, but they don't know what they don't know.
I love that. And is it a it's probably not a significant pay increase, is it?
No, but it's enough
Well, it
that
adds up.
Can earn, let's say, 150, £200 extra a month.
Okay, amazing.
Which
Love
is
that. It's
significant.
really
That's a nice pay
motivating.
rise.
Yeah, 100%. Are you ready to grow your business this year? Join me for Supercharge Your Month, a 60-minute clarity and strategy workshop to reflect, plan, and get super strategic to make your growth dreams a reality. The first Tuesday of every month at 10 a.m. for just £97, or free if it's your first time. My gift to you. Book on now via the show notes. See you there. So, what advice would you give to other people who are in a similar position? So they've got a big team, and we were talking earlier, there's no sort of gentle way to say this, but it's the sort of minimum wage. It's not a highly skilled job, because leading that team is probably slightly different to leading a team of, say, solicitors who have a more advanced like education. So
Mhm.
what advice would you give to somebody who's got a team where, it's a numbers game, they've got a lot of staff and they are sort of on that lower end of the pay scale?
One of the things I wish I'd done earlier, and I do this now, is to promote from within
Ooh,
and
okay.
put them. If you see someone who you can tell has the capability, don't make promises, but know that you flagged them,
Hmm.
and don't stop watching that.
Yeah, I like that. So
Um,
they see the incentive, they see the possibility, they're giving it their all because they want to get there.
yeah, yeah.
Nice. That's very
And
motivating.
it is. It doesn't work for everyone. I've
Yeah.
had people leave because of it,
Oh
but then,
gosh.
but
They were
then you
probably going to
know
leave anyway.
exactly, exactly. Um, the other thing that I would say is don't procrastinate.
Tell me more.
Procrastination is the biggest killer in handling things you're not happy about. And I still do it. And it is one of my biggest failings. And I talk to other business people, not just women, but business people about this all the time. And we all have situations because why didn't we deal with that straight away?
Mm-hmm.
But you're too busy. You think someone will improve. You think you're doing the
Mm-hmm.
right thing.
So,
Um,
sometimes we're too kind as well.
we are.
I had somebody on, no longer part of my team, but I gave them many months too much grace, like probably 8 months too much grace. And I was the one that suffered.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just needed to have that uncomfortable conversation significantly sooner and take some action.
And my dad, he's coming up a lot in this. Um, my
Shout
dad
out to dad.
yeah, good old dad. When I first started, he said to me, when the one thing that I'll say to you, Claire, is with members of your team, if you're going to discipline, have a go at them, tell them off for something, they should never be surprised. Should
Mm,
always have seen your warnings coming through.
okay. So
Equally,
clear expectations.
clear expectations, good feedback, and they should know where they stand. But he said on the other side, if somebody resigns, you should never be surprised.
Mm. Have
I
you
think
ever been surprised?
I've been surprised probably twice, but it's always resonated with me. I've never forgotten that.
Mm. You're very self-aware. I like that. So tell me about a time that you have failed.
Oh, goodness me, I'm still failing. I do it all the time. I'm constantly saying I won't do that again, and then I do. Um, okay, so I would say one of my biggest failings is where is actually finding the right marketing people and marketing agencies
Ooh, interesting.
and just giving up on it in the end in in
Wow.
some circumstances. I mean, I've literally just gone through it again, and I can't get it right. I literally cannot get it right. Um, So that is my next project, but I'm
Hmm.
actually going to give it to someone else because we have an expression in our business that I got from my coaching, which is who, not how. Who am I
Hmm.
going to get to do it?
Yeah.
How am I going to get to do it? And that who has got to be way better at it than I am.
Yeah. And you know, it's
Yeah.
really interesting. I was recording another podcast just before this, like a solo episode, and I was actually saying for a lot of small businesses, I don't believe in outsourcing marketing because if you're the face of your brand, nobody does you better than you. But actually, for your business, it's as much as you in the early days were the person who drove the growth locally. for the marketing side, you, especially where you're at now, you don't need to be the face of that brand. It doesn't
I
need to
might be
come
in
from
the
you.
face. I don't mind being the face, just as long as it's a picture and I don't have to organize it.
Oh, you're not going to be one of the ones that comes off this inspired to start a podcast because
Oh,
that's
good Lord,
marketing.
no. No, no, that's
Okay.
a definite who, not how.
Love it. I love it. Um, so what advice would you give to somebody who recognizes that they're in that same situation? They've been outsourcing their marketing for years and they've never quite got it right.
Oh, I really, really don't know. Um, but when they figure it out, tell them to call me.
I
Honestly,
love it. I love it.
honestly, I can honestly say that I don't have an answer for it. And lots of people I know who are really, really good at it, whose businesses are really good in the
Mm,
marketing part, they do most of it
yeah.
themselves.
Yeah.
But I can sell and sell. Someone wants to work with us. I am excited when I get that phone call, when I get that email, I'm all over it. And I think it all comes down to skill set, doesn't it? Because
Yeah.
a lot of my fellow business owners, not all of them obviously, but some of them who might be really, really good at marketing will have someone else who can do the sales because they just can't do sales.
Yeah. And actually, that's a really good learning. Like, if you are not great at marketing, don't be doing it yourself. As you
Absolutely.
know, if you're big enough to afford it, I do think it's a skill set everyone should learn and understand
Yep.
because you want to see what other people are doing and be like, right, that looks like it's going to work. So you
Yep.
want to have enough knowledge to make good outsourcing decisions. But if you're not going to do a good job, somebody else should. And it's
Yeah.
the same with sales as well. But again, they're all skills. They're all skills that can be learned. So there's going to be some people listening to this who are like, I'm terrible at sales and I'm not yet in a position to outsource it. Go and learn it. You know, you can always get better at something. But actually, if you are in a position to outsource it, then why not? And free yourself up to do the things that you are great at that will add the most value to your business.
Exactly.
Love
It
it.
all comes down to your unique abilities. What are you good at and what do you really enjoy? And it doesn't matter sometimes how much you learn something, you're never going to be as good as at that as you are at something else.
Yes, absolutely. So, what has been your biggest learning in the years you've been running your business?
My biggest learning. Um, I would say I'm still learning.
Love it.
I'm still learning. I think my biggest learning is really randomly HR.
Mm,
Um, and how dealing with people in your business should follow throughout your whole life because everything should come around to being fair and being kind. Uh,
beautiful principles to live by.
yeah, and all people who work for you should feel like you're fair and kind. You do have to have difficult conversations, but actually knowing that difficult conversation has come about because that person hasn't performed or they've done something terribly wrong. The way you handle those conversations and you handle your recruitment and all of that, I think people make a business. That's my biggest learning.
Yes, yes, I 100% agree with that. So, a lot of what we do on a daily basis will either take us towards where we want to be or away from it. So, our habits are one of the things that have the biggest impact. And I would love to know, do you have any specific, I'm going to call them success habits? So, things that you do daily that you think have contributed to the success that you've had?
Um, yeah, first of all, I know I'm not an administrator.
Okay.
And I think knowing, and again, I think this has come through in what I've said, knowing what I'm not good at
Mm-hmm.
has been a good success factor for me.
Yeah. So outsource, well,
But
within the
yeah,
company.
yeah. I mean, I've got some fantastic staff around me. Absolutely brilliant. My managers are amazing.
Mm.
I do have a habit of getting too involved in everything because
Hmm.
I am a control freak.
Most of
But
us are.
I do know when to stop. And then I sometimes surprise them by saying, well, that's how you do it. And they didn't know. And I think sometimes they need to know that you're close to it, but not taken over.
I love it.
So then I would say that is, it's a bit annoying to everyone. And I do get sidetracked by the next shiny thing, which could be a really cool report I've just found, or
Love
um,
it.
that's probably it. And I get absolutely obsessed with sales inquiries.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I have a list. I know everything that's important.
I love it. And honestly, that's probably been a big contributing factor to where you've got to today.
Yeah, yeah, it has. Yeah, I think I've, I wouldn't say I've got better at it. I would say I've become more consistent at it.
I love it. So, what is the business or personal development book that you have read in the last 25 years that's had the biggest impact on you as a business leader?
Weirdly, I don't know whether you've seen it because again, part of my marketing is that I'm useless at doing LinkedIn, but I did a LinkedIn post, I think it was last week, as
Hmm.
I was brushing my teeth randomly.
Ooh, good multitasking. I can't
Very,
see that ending well if I was doing it.
no, it didn't. But I did do it. It was so the book is Profit First by Mike
Yeah.
McCalloway.
Yeah. Not the first person to recommend that one.
And there is a part in the book about when we have a full tube of toothpaste, we use 2 or 3 times the amount we should use for one
Mm,
toothbrush.
okay.
When we get to the end, we squeeze every last drop out of it, because we've either forgotten to buy it or we can't possibly throw it away. And I was doing the squeezing the last minuscule amount
Yeah.
out.
It's
Squeeze.
amazing how long you can make that tube
Oh
last if
my
you need to.
goodness. And he likens it to cash flow.
I
And
love it.
it just got me back on it and it keeps coming back
That's a
all the
brilliant
time.
analogy. And I have to say, I didn't pick up on that when I read it. To be fair, I'm not sure I finished it, so maybe it came later on. Yeah, it's
I
one of the
listened to
ones.
it.
Yeah, I feel like I might have to go down the listen route. It's a great book. I know
It really.
everyone loves it. I've never got to the end of it. It's been 2 years now, so maybe Audible is the way forward for that one. So, if Claire, 25 years ago, just starting out in her business, were to knock on your front door just now, what would she say to you?
Um, I think about this all the time, and it all comes back to really, really does come back to marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Go bigger.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more about that.
Um, so when I started, I was mother to one daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and then I had a second daughter, and I got divorced. So
Okay.
I think I juggled life to the limit.
Mm-hmm.
How it ever actually survived with me doing all that is remarkable. Because I was mum and dad
Mm.
all the time. Um, and I think looking at the world now, if I was back in that position, I don't think I couldn't have worked any harder. I
Mm-hmm.
definitely couldn't have worked any harder, but I could have worked smarter.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things when I do eventually retire, but I'll never retire, but if I gave up working,
Take a little step back.
and I would definitely talk to people who are just starting, who maybe have had some investment, and don't really know where to put it, and maybe looking at things in the wrong way.
Mm-hmm.
I would so get involved in that.
Love it. Exciting. So go big on your marketing. And what would Claire 25 years ago think of you now? Think of everything you've achieved. How would she react to seeing where you're at now?
Um, and this is going to sound a bit weird, probably slightly disappointed.
Wow.
Yeah. Because nothing you ever do should ever be good enough. You should always want bigger, better, and that's the way I live, really.
Love it.
So it wouldn't matter where I was, I'd still be disappointed in myself.
I'm going to challenge you on that because I think the you 25 years ago couldn't actually comprehend where you'd get to now.
Yeah,
And I think your standards have raised a lot over the years. I think
yeah.
she'd be pretty damn chuffed with where you're at.
I'm
But
sure.
I didn't know you back then. So who knows?
Yeah, I was obviously very different back then, but yeah, I think that I'm always slightly disappointed. I've always wanted more, and I think we always should strive for more. If you've
Hmm.
got enough, then you're not going to keep going.
Hmm. So
Um,
keep raising that level of ambition.
yeah,
Love
definitely.
it. Love it. So what advice would you give to somebody in that position? So they're starting their business. They are also potentially a single parent. They are doing it all, and there's a lot of weight on them. What advice would you give?
Get a coach.
Great way to end. Thanks for that. Well, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you. For our listeners, where is the best place to, one, connect with you? And for our listeners who are like, I need an answering service, how do they connect with Answercom or any of your other businesses?
LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn.
Yeah,
I never miss a LinkedIn.
love it.
Or email us on the website. It's answercom.co.uk. On the website, just email us. We respond to inquiries within 27 seconds.
Wow,
Yep.
that's got to be automated.
Yep.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely.
I could learn a lot from you. Amazing. Well, Claire, thank you so much. It's been a real pleasure. Thank you for all of the nuggets, the wisdom, and the experience that you've shared with our listeners today.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening today. If you like what you hear, please hit subscribe and leave us a review. Even better, come connect with me, Ruth Ferreira, on LinkedIn and Instagram. I'd love to get to know you.